Good news. I actually heard through the grapevine that this show has actually been picked up for a second season. So I'm glad we didn't get all attached for nothing.
And I'm like, come on through, Cookie. I'm going up on my soapbox. That's basically it. Let's talk about drag and all its forms. What, Cookie?
Okay, guys, thanks so much for clicking on the video. This is season 1, episode 9 of Shades of Blue. All right, so we go right in. We start off there at Sap's actual funeral ceremony and everything. It was sad and no need to relive that, but they had a whole funeral and all of that. Waz didn't speak at the funeral, which he shouldn't have. Like, I mean, come on, seriously, you killed the man. The fact that you're standing up there, you're doing the absolute goddamn most. But anyway, so we see all of that go on. Throughout this episode, Tofu is Tufo. Is it Tufo or Tofu? Tufo is having a hard time, basically, still, because he's not really knowing, was Sap really dirty, or was he a snitch, or what was really going on? Is he not the friend that he thought he had? So in the whole section, there is a gentleman who literally, there was a call, a domestic violence call, and Tufo and Harley actually go for the call because the call came directly to Sap's phone, and they went on the call, and it ends up being this man who is actually, he really is actually a legal doctor who got into some trouble with some stuff that went down, and so he wasn't practicing really, but he was practicing under the radar for the neighborhood for the most part. So he was getting samples and things like that from different doctors that knew the situation. They were helping him out. He was literally helping people out in the neighborhood at a lower price. So he was able to keep himself up, but he was living, he wasn't living like a doctor lives, but still actually doing his service. And someone had actually came in and hit him, some druggies hit him and stole a lot of his stuff and stuff like that. So they actually took care of everything. And through that process, Tufo, damn, I don't know why I want to keep calling him Tofu. Tufo had actually went to the church and all of this. And the church is the one, the priest is the one that actually told him, he's like, no, he's good. He's not a bad man. He's doing good things for the community and risking himself doing it, And they kept him off this duffel bag of stuff that the guy had stolen. So the duffel bag was actually recovered, and after going to church and actually speaking with the priest, and he actually went to question the priest about the duffel bag and kind of like trying to strong arm him, and he got a revelation. He actually went there. You know how God leads you places. He ended up leading him there and putting who's supposed to be in your path. So that kind of cleared up his questioning of his partner and what was kind of really going on. He still doesn't really know, but he's been reassured basically divinely that Sap is the good person that you thought he was. He wasn't a rat. He wasn't a snitch. He was the good friend that you thought he was. So in the end of that, Tufo actually ends up telling, when the doctor gets released, he ends up telling the doctor, he gives him his card and he tells her, I'm going to be your new Detective Samperstein. You just contact me if there's a problem and I'll take care of everything for you. So that was good. Okay, so on to Harley and all her foolishness. So the first part of the little operation is going to take place. And this is crazy because Wozniak doesn't really know what he's getting into that damn Donnie is actually really is leading everything, and he's only like literally feeding him little bits of information. And the fact that they're screwing is why he's letting them get away with that, because Waz would never go through for this kind of crap under normal circumstances. But honey, the little head is leading them instead of the big head. So they go for the first part of it. He ends up taking Harley with him. Now remember, she ended up getting herself a new wire, so she got her necklace done again, and she's wearing her necklace, and she basically is setting Waz up because she's like, she didn't like that whole shit with Sap. He showed that he's a dirty son of a bitch, and there's a lot that she doesn't know about him. So the first piece of it, they're supposed to go and pick up a package. They don't know exactly what the package is. Well, when they get there, there's a gun standoff. Of course, they're being trailed by Chen, Officer Chen or Detective Chen and the jerk, and watching and everything. Honey, the package was a man. The man was tied up in the back of the damn trunk. So Waz goes off. He's like, I did not. What is this? What is going on? I ain't with the kidnapper shit and all that. So he ends up telling Harley to take him back to the marina, to the boat, so she tried to get some information out of him and pretty much put the man out of the way and that kind of thing. They end up finding out the man is actually being held as collateral because however this deal goes, the people are actually dealing with armored car service. And the man who was in the trunk, his wife is a dispatch person for the armored car company. So they actually snatched him, threatened her life, and all of that. It's just ridiculous. So they got him. They're trying to figure out who he is. We're going through the whole process of that. The jerk ends up going to the armored car service, and Wozniak ends up at the armored car service too. So he had to slip out because that was almost a whole mess. So we got all that going on. When he figured out what had actually happened, he kind of like Waz is just like a snap out. He literally busted up in a meeting that Donnie was in because Donnie said, I can't go. Donnie was supposed to be the one to accompany him to the thing and to that meeting. And he ends up pulling out. Said he has a deposition to do and he couldn't get out of it. And he's like, well, I'm taking Harley. And he's like, well, no, you're supposed to go by yourself. Bullshit. So once he figured out what it was, he was pissed off with Donnie. He came and literally snatched Donnie up out of that meeting. I'm like, child, you are really acting like a scorned lover, honey, and nobody's really paying attention because they don't really suspect that kind of stuff out of him. But Waz really does act like Donnie's his little sad bitch, which I guess he is really. He yanked his ass on up out of there, took him back there, cussed his ass out, and threatened him. He always threatens to kick his ass. Threatened his ass to shit. And all of that, he's assuring him, no, I'm going to tell you more. Everything's cool, this, that, thing, and the other. So we get through all that. So the last part of it, Harley needed to get information about Donnie and Waz because she basically lets him know that Donnie is actually involved. So Waz had actually told her about Donnie. He actually told her about Donnie, and she couldn't understand. She couldn't get it together. Like, why in the hell would he trust him from, where his position is? Why would you trust somebody that close to where we could actually be busted? It would just be a big mess. Why would you trust him? Fuck it, but she don't know. So they're having this little meeting in his office at the end of the program, and the jerk is telling her, you got to get in there. And she's like, how am I supposed to do that? So she busts up in there, and she's like, something about a file or something. And when he opens the file, it says going to check on the boat. So he's like, oh, okay, cool. She had a cup in her hand, like a coffee cup. And what she did was she threw the cup in the garbage. I knew immediately. I said, oh, her necklace is gone. She put her necklace in the cup and threw it in the garbage. So the wire was in the room with Donnie and him, and it's facing up out of the garbage can. Well, baby, that's when we actually get to hear them talking. She goes outside. She ends up getting in the car with the jerk. They hear the whole conversation about how them two are fucking and this, that, and the other. And they're, spatting back and forth about how he's feeding him little bits of information and all that. And Waz, I don't know what they get off on this crazy shit. They were going on. Waz was like, I'm telling you, if you don't get shit together, I'm gonna have to hurt you up. And he grabbed him all up by the crotch and shit and slammed him against the wall. And Donnie's all like, oh, I'm telling you. But like they're all into this rough, like they get off on the rough sex stuff. So I think he likes it, the fact that Waz bangs him around and hits him and stuff. But anyway, long story short, now Harley kind of understands, and her and the jerk that found out that Waz is a closet, honey. So that's kind of where we ended up. I was like, child, this is a mess. Oh, one last thing. Officer Chen is not taking his brush off, the jerk's brush off, about how he handles Harley. She's seeing some indiscrepancies about how he handles her, you know, and he came up with some lame excuse about if she feels close to me, then she'll, you know, open up to me and all of this kind of carrying on. And she's like, that shit don't sound right. And then she kept asking about Zepeda. He's telling her, don't worry about the Zepeda stuff. I got that all under control, blah, 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 blah. And she's like, something ain't right. Well, that damn Chan took her ass to the damn DA and was like, something ain't right. This man is innocent and he should not be in jail. Next thing you know, when we look around, honey, Zepeda done been exonerated and is getting out of jail thanks to Detective Chen. So there's going to be some shit when Zepeda hits the street. There's also going to be some shit when the jerk figures out that Detective Chen went behind his back and did things that she had no business doing. And those things are going to affect the love of his life, which is Harley. Honey, it's going to be a problem. I don't know. Because the jerk is a dirtball. So I would be surprised if Detective Chen come up stinking, honey. But we will see. We will see. But anyway, that is it. That's all I got. So thumbs up, thumbs down. You guys know how that all works. And like I said, this did get renewed for a second season. So we did not get all attached to this show for nothing. You go ahead on J-Lo. Good job, girl. Anyway, all right. That's it. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye, guys.